So Enlisted is a World War II free-to-play shooter which is on both PlayStation, Xbox, and I believe it is also on PC. And I think as well, I imagine it is on the newer gen. I'm playing it on the PlayStation 4, but I think it is probably on the new generation of consoles as well. Now, it wasn't brought out originally on PlayStation. I believe it was just PC and Xbox, and it's just come to PlayStation in the last few weeks. And as I say, it's free to play. You can download it off the store. This is going to be sort of a very brief overview. It's not really even a review. It's more of an overview of the game, what I think of it, and as someone who's only casually playing games at the minute, my opinion on how this game works, especially in comparison to other shooters in the market. So the first thing you do on the game is you pick your theatre of war. Now I think there's 4 different theatres and I can't quite remember them all, but the 3 that I do remember is the invasion of Normandy, the Battle of Stalingrad, and then North Africa as well, the North African campaign. So you've got plenty of content already there, and within those sort of theatres there's lots of different maps and game modes within that, so it's not like everything's the same or every theatre's the same. It's not like just one map constantly. There's lots of different maps. Well, in fact, what I believe it is, it's one giant map, and then when you're playing the game or the game modes, it uses different sections of that map, if it makes sense. So it's quite a clever way of doing it, and there is a lot of variation. You then have to complete a quick 10-minute tutorial, which is really easy. It's probably worth doing just to get the gist of the game. The controls can be a bit clunky. They remind me of a PS2 game, or like PS2 gaming, actually a PS2 FPS game specifically, maybe like the Brothers in Arms games. That's sort of the type of controls that it reminds me of. To be more specific about the maps as well, they are absolutely fantastic. So the ones I've been playing the most are the Normandy maps, and the best way I can describe it is, it's like if you watch Saving Private Ryan or you watch Band of Brothers, that's the type of thing you're seeing in this game. Those type of maps there. The first of all, you've got the D-Day maps, or the beach map where they're running up the beach. You've got MG42s against you. You've got Shermans coming up the beach. It's absolutely fantastic. In fact, the first clip I used for this video, that's from the Normandy invasion, or the D-Day beach invasion. So that's the maps are fantastic. They've got everything from long range combat to close quarter combat as well. So all the houses you can go into, you can open doors, you can open windows, you can use trenches, you can use trees, you can flank, you can go down the middle. There's a lot of gameplay options in the game within the maps, so that's really good, and it's good that they've allowed that, because everyone's got a different play style. Some people prefer to sit back and snipe, some people like to go up and get close and get gritty and kill the enemy. So it's got those different options. Should also mention just how good the sounds are in this game. It's like sitting in a cinema with surround sound, or if you've got really good headphones on, it's just amazing. You've got artillery blowing up next to you, you've got mortar rounds landing, you've got weapons firing, people screaming, people shouting, and it's just it's really, honestly, it's top level sound design in this game, and it just really adds to the immersion, and that's what you want when you're playing a shooter game, especially that's set in a real historical setting. You want immersion, and the game also has a lot of grittiness. If a guy gets hit by a tank round, he's going to explode, and a lot of games don't have that these days. They tend to shy away from the sort of grittiness of war and stuff. And I think if you're going to do a historical game, or a game that's based on a real life event, then you really should make it gritty. And a lot of AAA games just aren't doing that, but it's good to see that Enlisted have. And I think, again, adds to the immersion, and immersion is what we want. Now, just like all games, there's problems, and I've experienced a fair number of problems in this game. And I think the first one, which is really important to say, is the menu. The menu is quite clearly designed for PC. It's designed for mouse and keyboard, and this game is made by the same people who play War Thunder. So if you play War Thunder, the menu is the exact same setup. And for console players, it's really difficult, because not only is it hard to navigate, but the menu itself is really overwhelming. There's just so much shit that's on your screen in the main menu. There's so much going on that in some ways you just don't know where you're at. And I think if you're a new player, it's far too easy to get overwhelmed with it all. So my best advice for new players is, don't worry too much about what's on the menu at the beginning. Just get yourself into the game, play some games, and eventually you'll learn how the menu works, and you'll start unlocking things. But it definitely is very easy to get overwhelmed, and it'd be nice to see them change it a bit. Another thing in the game that sort of gets me a bit is the clunkiness. It's very clunky. You have to fiddle around with your controls so much. Again, I think it's quite clearly designed for mouse and keyboard. So when you play on a controller, you experience all sorts of glitches. And as I say, you have to mess around with your settings a lot to try and find the right thing. Now I'm sort of used to this, being a Verdun and Tannenberg player. I'm used to clunky games, so it didn't bother me as much. But if I had just come fresh from like Battlefield or Call of Duty, where the games are quite switched on, they're quite clean, they run smoothly, then I suppose I maybe struggle to adapt to this game. But they're two big things you have to get used to and understand. They're both negative points. Because this game is also made by the same guys as War Thunder, I was actually very concerned that this game would be quite unfair for someone who's starting out. Because on War Thunder, for example, I honestly believe that if you want to be a good player at War Thunder, you have to spend a lot of money. I actually believe you probably have to spend more than you would for a regular price game. And we're talking like 70, 80 odd pounds just to get some good planes, tanks and stuff, the type of shells you use, all that type of stuff, the customization, all that stuff. I feel like you have to spend a hell of a lot of money on War Thunder. Now, so far, this game hasn't been the same as that. I've got weapons at the beginning, which seem quite fair. I'm able to challenge people who've been on the game much longer than I have, and I'm hoping it's going to remain that way. But I'll see. The more I play it, obviously, the more I'll learn. Now you've got to remember, I haven't put loads of hours on this game yet. I just simply haven't got the time. So it's a very casual overview of the game. But so far, it hasn't been like War Thunder. I think when it comes to customization, you still have to spend money and stuff. But I'll be honest with you, when it comes to a World War 2 FPS game, I'm not bothered about customization. I just like the standard classes. As long as I've got weapons that I can use, that I can enjoy, as long as I can challenge players who are higher ranking than me, then that's brilliant. That's all I want. And so far, this game's been pretty good for that. So if you're also concerned about that sort of problem carrying on from War Thunder, don't worry. Enlisted doesn't yet seem to have that, and hopefully it won't. So that was a very brief overview of my time on Enlisted. Hope you found it interesting, and I hope you guys are enjoying the game, or get to try out the game. And if you do, or if you have played it, make sure you comment below. I'd like to hear everyone else's opinions on the game. I know it's been mixed from what I've seen so far, but personally I've enjoyed my experience. I'm back home for Christmas now as well, so I've got some time off for the next 2-3 weeks. So I'll have some streams and videos coming up on Insurgency, Verdun, Tannenberg and Enlisted. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy. Cheers.